Hey, everybody, and welcome back to I Got This podcast with Lex and MGP. My name is Lex. I've been a personal trainer for 7 years now. Martha is my client, and she has been with me for 4 years. Over our time together, she's lost over 60 pounds, and we have learned so much together. We've learned what works, what doesn't work, and more importantly, we've had so much fun doing it. So join us each and every week as we talk about whatever the hell we want. And we're back. We have all heard the term, don't drink your calories. Today, we are going to kind of dig into that. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to I Got This podcast with Lex and MGP. It is both of us back at it again with you all.
Yay, the dynamic duo.
The dynamic duo. I was complimenting Martha before this episode that she did awesome without me last week. I think it's like literally you are being pushed into like freezing cold water.
Oh, yeah.
When you do it by yourself.
Yeah, no backup, no land, no, you can't see the land from the water kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're like, okay, here we are, we're doing this. And you have to keep the conversation going and you have to make it feel like it's very normal, very real.
I had to pretend I was talking to you even though you weren't there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
It's
no,
very weird.
it's much better together, I think.
Right. It's totally so much better. So today we're talking about drinking your calories. I am curious what that statement or advice meant to you before your fitness journey. Like, what did you think that it meant?
So, and we're not even talking really alcohol for me here. This was more of those high calorie drinks, anything basically besides water that would have calories in it. So, you go get a Frappuccino at Starbucks, pop for a lot of people, juices, even some smoothies that you might think are healthy, but they turn out to have a high sugar content or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was guilty for sure of a lot of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I definitely, when I heard it originally, I definitely thought it was very specific to, like Frappuccinos or like that type of thing, like things that were like coffee drinks, but with like 500 or 700 calories.
I didn't even realize those had that many calories at first, to be honest. I mean, I knew they had calories. I'm not stupid, right? But I was thinking like, okay, if a regular coffee doesn't have any calories,
they
probably like maybe 100 or two, and then I think it was and they were delicious, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But then I remember having one and then I was like, oh, I wonder how many calories. It was like 850 calories. I was like, oh
yeah, you don't even realize
you had a steak.
It's 2 meals. But
Yeah.
You don't realize that. I didn't realize it either when I was drinking them for a while.
Yeah. And of course you have to put whipped cream on it. What's the point if you don't? So
it's like, what's the point of this? I don't even want it if not, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think we want to kind of go through different options that we know. So we definitely want to start with coffee. When they say don't drink your calories,
right,
that does mean save the food that you eat for it to be something that's satiating, something that feels like your mind and your body can feel like it's filling your stomach, so that when you leave you have more fuel and it's not just like you're adding excess calories into your day.
Right.
And there are different things in which people have in their diet on a daily basis, which it's hard. Like it's a really hard thing to pick and choose what you're going to eat and drink on a daily basis. So we were definitely starting with coffee. And I think the funny thing is we like coffee.
Yeah. You're not taking that from me. I don't care.
I'll never take that from you. There's truly nothing unhealthy about black coffee.
I'm not drinking it black either.
You don't have to. But the fact is that there is truly nothing unhealthy about it. People have been drinking it for so long, and it does increase your heart rate slightly, but it does in a way that can be healthy for you, because just like exercise, it can make your blood start flowing a little bit more and that type of thing.
I'm sure anything, you can do it to an excess, of course.
Absolutely.
But
you get like anxiety.
Right. You have 1,000 milligrams of caffeine or something crazy. But I've also read a lot of studies that coffee is good for preventing Alzheimer's.
Yes, I've heard that too.
So I can't really pull it right up, but yes, but I've heard good things about it. So I just, I feel like I'm doing myself.
There's actually no factual data that argues that black coffee can be bad for you, but it's the additives, right?
Sure.
So, okay. So we're talking about additives and like what you're putting in your coffee in terms of calories. So I think there's the hierarchy, and we're going to kind of like break this down into certain levels, good and bad for you, right? So there's a hierarchy of what you should and can. And so like if you're used to putting cream and sugar in your coffee,
sure,
right? I mean, there's definitely better options, but how many is the question.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Think about your friends.
Mhm.
What do they normally put in their coffee?
Um, Most people I know drink with at least some sort of milk, cream, something, some sort of whitener, basically, to
Yes,
go in there, including me, as I have mine
I
right
know.
here.
We get a good flat white rate with us. It's almond milk. It's a almond milk, honey, iced flat white
Yeah,
with yeah, almond milk,
exactly, and
honey.
it's delicious. So,
And it's
mhm,
delicious. Right. So the question is like, what do you put in your drinks that make them healthy? So
mhm.
I had a client who was putting like the brown sugar sweetener in her Starbucks drinks. And
Oh, like the little raw sugar kind of packets, do you
no, it's
mean?
a brown sugar syrup,
Oh, brown sugar, like brown sugar.
brown sugar syrup. And
I
she thought that was healthier for her
Huh.
than sugar. It's not
Brown sugar is just white
brown.
sugar with molasses, basically, isn't it? Is there yeah.
Exactly. She's more sugar, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so she was misinformed in that. So
Mhm.
let me break it down. I think if you're ordering from Starbucks, any of like the syrups
Mhm.
are going to not be like your best options, right? Like those chai syrups or
Right.
like the dolce syrups, like they're all going to have a lot of extra excess sugar in them.
Keyword syrup.
Syrup. Syrup is not great. And then they also do a sugar-free vanilla, or I'm sorry, it's a sugar-free vanilla syrup.
Okay.
And we started kind of talking about this, and we'll get this into this a little bit later, but is
Mhm.
sugar-free better than sugar, right? Sugar-free, if you're going to take a calorie approach,
Mhm.
yes, sugar-free is better technically, even though there are different artificial sweeteners in it.
Okay.
Okay. So like let's say you do are like super into those like fun little frilly drinks and you're like,
Mhm.
Alexis, I can't not have that syrupy pump in my coffee.
Sure.
You're gonna do that sugar-free vanilla pump or something along those lines. I also do the honey blend
Mhm.
from
I know,
Starbucks.
you got me on that, that's good.
It's really good. And it's honey
Yeah.
and hot water. I think that's what it
Mhm.
is. It's honey and hot water blended together. It's
Okay.
very natural. I don't know if it's like processed honey. I don't know where the honey comes from. I,
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's who knows, you know?
Yeah. Is it raw organic honey or is it who
Yeah.
knows, right?
So I don't know how great that is for you unless you're going to go black and like black coffee and almond milk, which like sometimes I'll do that.
Mhm.
But if you need those sweeteners, those are better approaches. So it's like really figuring out like what is the better option versus the best option.
Sure.
We're not asking everybody to make the best option. It's
Yeah.
making a better option.
Right. Because if the best option's black coffee, I'm not doing
Yeah, there you go. It's like
it.
what will you allow your
That's my line in the sand.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. So it's like, what will you allow yourself to give
Sure.
in the
Sure.
seriousness of it? So, um, and then we know a lot of people drink like pops,
Mhm.
right? So you said a lot of people drink it around you.
Yeah, so at work, I'm one of the few coffee drinkers. I'm like, who are these people that don't drink coffee? But quite a few of the teachers I work with, their caffeine fix
Mhm.
is Coke and Diet Coke or Pepsi, I guess. But I mean, but it seems like the Diet Cokes just fly out of the vending machine in the teacher's lounge.
Isn't that funny? So
Yeah. And that doesn't even, I can't even imagine drinking pop at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
super common.
Yeah. But it is super common. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like crazy. A lot of people do not like coffee, and I know it's normal for us, but
Hmm.
we're not.
We're us.
We're us. We're not the average. No, I'm just kidding. We are definitely average. But no, there are a few schools of thought on diet versus regular pop.
Hmm.
So if you are used to using pop as your wake up
Hmm.
routine, diet is going to be better for you from a calorie perspective.
Sure.
You would have to be insane to argue that
Hmm.
okay, I'd rather have if from a calorie perspective, I'd have rather have 260 calories in a can of Coke,
Hmm.
right? Versus the 0 calorie Coke, even though it's got fake sweeteners in it,
And the chemicals or whatever. Yeah.
chemicals, there's aspartame, there's a lot of different things in
Hmm.
it for sure. Artificial coloring, but there are also bad things also in Coke. So it's like,
Sure.
what's worse? I'm gonna say Coke is worse than Diet Coke for
Hmm.
sure. Like if you're drinking Coke and you're like, well, some people say it's better to just drink Coke. It's not. Drink
Well, you hear
Diet.
that, and then it's so confusing because you hear one study that says this and something else says, the other.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it definitely depends on the approach that you're taking.
sure.
So I think that the calorie approach, if you're taking that approach, calories in versus calories out,
Hmm.
you're gonna say Diet Coke is better,
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
doesn't it?
Mhm.
But it's hard, like, you're not gonna get a diet root beer. I don't think those
I mean, they
exist.
do exist. I've seen them.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not a huge pop drinker. It's just not my, not my jam, as the kids would say.
Mhm,
But you do see it, and I see people drinking pop all day long, and I'm just like,
mhm.
but I guess they probably think the same thing with me and my coffee. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
just a
it's
trade off.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever floats your boat. I
Hmm.
mean, that's the thing is we're all kind of trained into drinking something,
Hmm.
so
It's my habit.
it's your habit. Yeah,
Right.
it doesn't really matter what it is. It's how can we adjust your habits so like it's slightly better for you.
Hmm.
Obviously, drinking no pop is better. Drinking just water all the time will always be the better option, but getting to that point
That's
is
not realistic.
and it's not an easy journey and
Hmm.
it's a long task if you're starting by drinking continuous pops every day, right?
Sure.
Because to a lot of people pop is or I'm sorry, water is like really gross. Like they are
Hmm.
like I do not want to drink
Or it's
that.
just not fun for a lot of people too. Even if it's not gross, it's just not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
There's
boring.
boring, yeah. Um, boring some people will, like, drink it and, like, gag. They're like, "I can't stand the taste."
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's a common one too.
Hmm.
So, if we were going up the hierarchy of, like, what you're drinking, right?
Okay.
In terms of, like, a fizzy or poppy taste,
Hmm.
I think the lowest on the totem pole is gonna be a regular pop. Second up is going to be your diet. So, like, that is definitely going to be a better option. Your third option is going to be like an Olipop,
Hmm.
LaCroix. There's the United States of Soda. Have you heard of that brand?
Mm-mm.
Oh, super good. So, they're like fake pops. They have artificial sweeteners, but 0 calories
Okay.
and probiotics
Hmm.
normally. So, definitely like a very healthy twist. And then the best option is always going to be water.
Of course.
So I'll always do a sparkling water in the evening when I go out.
Hmm.
If I really like people are drinking a pop or something like that, or like going out to eat, I'll grab
Hmm.
a sparkling water for sure. It's a tricky topic because again, who's to say that your coffee is with? I'm
Hmm.
not saying this is the case, but like if you were to say like, oh, those people are drinking pop, we can't argue that
No, that's just, yeah,
it's habitual,
for
right?
sure.
So it's there's nothing wrong with it. It's how do we slowly make
It's part of your routine. It's comforting, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just how you get your energy if you don't like coffee.
Mhm.
Honestly don't think if I wasn't drinking coffee at like 12 years old, I probably would hate it.
Yeah.
Like really, like I think if I were to taste it now at 28, I
Mhm.
would think that's disgusting.
Isn't that funny? I
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's just, I don't know, something comforting in the morning about having that warm cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and then I'll drink iced coffee sometimes during the day. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just part of my
Interesting.
routine.
Yeah, exactly. So then there are other things like energy drinks versus pre-workout drinks.
Hmm.
Those are super different for energy as well. So I was kind of like, well, what is the difference between an energy drink and like a pre-workout drink? And the difference is
Marketing.
you
Is it? I have
would
no
think.
idea.
No,
Yeah.
you would think, right? Energy drinks are designed to give you like a quick boost of energy.
Hmm.
Um by supplying you with like a small dose of caffeine, while pre-workouts are designed to boost energy levels, but also boost your exercise performance. So, like you said this earlier, like those
Hmm.
energy drinks have like creatine in them, a stronger dose of like different types of energy boosters
Okay.
that are going to give you a longer boost to help like
Not just pure caffeine necessarily.
exactly. And
Okay.
sometimes they'll have like vitamins in them. So like
Hmm.
you'll have the ghosts or the bang energy drinks, like that
Okay.
type of thing, versus like a Red Bull or like a Monster. And then the question is like, what is better, right?
Shoot, I don't even know.
That's good.
All right, coach, what do we got?
Yeah. So like a Red Bull, for instance,
Hmm.
let's do a little research. Red Bull versus like let's do a Red Bull versus a Monster, okay?
Okay.
So
And those are not considered the same thing? I mean, I know they're not the same brand, but the same type of drink, or no?
no, those are the same type of drink.
Okay. Okay.
And then Monster has more caffeine than Red Bull.
Okay.
Wait, no. Monster has 89 milligrams of caffeine. Red Bull has 111. Wow, that's okay. So it's like about a cup of
Yeah,
coffee.
I was gonna say coffee-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do like a
I
red.
would have thought they would have had a lot more. I'm actually kind of shocked, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting actually. Um,
Because the kids at school right now, they were drinking this year Celsius. That was the big energy drink
oh,
that they were all
Celsius is
drinking.
super in. Yep.
Yep. So you just ask the 16-year-old what's in.
Yeah.
And I want to say, don't they have like 200 milligrams? I could be wrong
I'm looking
on
that
that.
up right now. Celsius energy drink ingredients. Oh,
No?
I mean, they have higher levels of caffeine. It doesn't say how much. I wonder
Oh,
why.
okay. I feel like it was 200 for some reason.
Huh. Yeah, no, I can't find how many grams of caffeine.
But that seems to be the popular one right now.
Yeah, yeah. But no, the difference between those two like different types of drinks, like a regular
Mhm.
energy drink and a pre-workout drink, is the effect, like the goal of
Okay.
it, right? So they're still gonna have caffeine, but it's gonna have like a more prolonged like
So the
uh,
half-life on like a pre-workout is a little bit longer because it's
yes,
going to stay in your system.
correct. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And it's gonna have like those little things like a creatine, like
Mhm.
an L-glutamine, like that type of thing, in it as well. So then the question is, okay, well, like which one is better?
Mhm.
I mean, like, I don't know. I would say if you're gonna I don't know, if you're gonna work out,
I mean, is it the goal of the drink?
I guess the goal of what is the goal of the drink,
Do I need a
right?
quick shot of energy or am I going
Going
to
to
go
work out.
lift? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to pick that poison as well. But
Mhm.
again, it's like, okay, well, what is a better source of energy as well that is like better for your calorie intake?
Mhm.
I mean, it depends. Like, are you drinking caffeine all day long? Like, that's not going to help your energy levels,
Right.
but it's also going to give you a lot of extra calories too. So
Mhm.
it's such a hard topic. It's like maybe if you were to limit yourself to one type of drink a day, that might be a better approach versus having coffee and then energy and then like at night alcohol, right? Like,
Yeah.
so again, what is like the best approach? It's none,
Yeah,
right? But
right.
it's not realistic and it's not fun.
That's the one that always confused me is when we would go, go out or something in an evening and people were drinking Red Bull with vodka in it. And I'm like, that is so confusing to me.
What are you doing?
Right. Energy and vodka. I'm confused by this.
I was a big Red Bull vodka girl in
Well,
my
you,
college days
oh
for
man.
sure. Yeah.
Because then you're done with the night and you're having bed spins, but you can't go to sleep. What the heck?
Oh, I don't know. I was so tired by that time. Like I was like, I gotta take this to stay awake. I'm dying. You couldn't do more than one, right? Like you couldn't do like six
Well,
Red Bull
that's what I'm
vodkas.
saying. You would see people that would just hammer them all night.
Oh my God,
I
that's
digress. That's
I
my topic.
digress. I digress. But yeah, and then we move into like the drinks like a Bai or a Gatorade or like
Hmm.
that type of thing. And those are like my least favorite. I'm not gonna lie. I think they have more calories, more sugar than you realize,
Hmm.
and a lot more like, and it does have electrolytes, but you
Hmm.
can get electrolytes from electrolyte infused water. I have an
Sure.
Essentia right here. It's got, yeah, it's got electrolytes in it. Like you don't need a Gatorade with that extra dye, food coloring and dye.
And they market those to kids too, like the little ones.
I know it gets you
Yeah.
addicted to
Hmm.
flavor and natural flavors, which we don't even know what natural flavors are.
Yeah.
You see that on
Probably
a
not
bottle.
natural.
Exactly. Like nobody knows what a natural flavor is, like
Hmm.
truly. So I think those are lowest on my list
Hmm.
because they're probably way more addicting than, maybe not way more, but they are addicting similar to the extent of like a pop or that type of
Yeah.
thing.
I think you start drinking those when you're little and
Yeah,
then it becomes part of that routine. I don't see like 50-year-olds just picking up Gatorade for the first time. You
exactly.
know,
Yeah.
so yeah, no, that's a whole other issue
Whole
there.
other issue.
Yeah.
Whole other
But
thing.
what about electrolytes?
What about them? What do you mean?
Like, so like a drink that's just got electrolytes in it, but not necessarily sugar and calorie. Is that something we need or need to
Yeah.
even worry about?
I mean, it's like basically if you overdrink too much water, okay,
Hmm.
you're gonna this is a whole thing.
You can
Um,
overdrink water. I mean, I know
yeah.
that's a thing.
If
Yeah.
you don't have enough like salt in your system,
Hmm.
right, you can throw your alkaline levels off. So you do need electrolytes, but that you could get the proper electrolytes just by eating a certain amount of salt,
Hmm.
right?
Or put a pinch of salt in your water if you had to, if it was really bad.
Exactly. But naturally, I'm not going to say like most people
Right.
get plenty of electrolytes,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
So, like, to say, like, hey,
I
I
mean,
don't
and you'd have to be out in the heat, really strenuous exercise, that kind of thing.
exactly, which I
Okay.
don't think is the issue for most people. Most people are waking up, getting ready for work. Like,
Hmm.
when's the last time you went outside and like were dripping sweat from exercise?
True.
when you were playing soccer in middle school, right?
Yes.
And that's when they forced you to drink it. So if you're drinking it now, like why?
Yeah.
I think those are some of the most addictive ones that are
Mhm.
completely unnecessary. And then the higher, so if I were to like gauge them in terms of like what is best, so like here's how I would, as a personal trainer,
Mhm.
gauge like how I would approach it for you. So I would say
Okay.
like number one is coffee. That's top tier. Like if you're gonna do coffee, then kind of limit what you put into it.
Okay.
Try not to add a ton of regular sugars, that type of thing. Second, most popular is Cokes or Diet Coke. So if you're drinking that,
Mhm.
go for a diet. Okay. If it's you can't do a diet, regular is like not my favorite, but you're
Mhm.
looking for caffeine, but really try a diet.
I do have actually a friend at work who won't give up, her pop,
Uh-huh.
but they now make like mini cans.
Great.
Have you seen them? They're like
Yeah,
little
they're like that
6-ounce
big.
cans.
Yeah.
She's like, so she allows herself to have one of those.
That's great.
So she's like, at least I've cut it in half.
That's a phenomenal approach.
So maybe that's a, tip if anyone's out there. I didn't even know they had these little tiny, I'm like, that's so cute. Look at your can. It's so tiny.
That isn't a great approach. Good. I'm so happy they do that.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's quantity. Like if you're
Mhm.
intaking so much, it's always quantity. And then if you can move on to like an Olipop or LaCroix, and some of them
Mhm.
do have caffeine in them, which is great.
I was skeptical of those, but they are quite delicious.
They are really good. Next on the list is like energy drinks, pre-workouts. And then finally is like those buys, Gatorades, vitamin waters, which are really giving you no caffeine and no benefits. It's like a juice.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
juices.
And we didn't even talk about juice, just like regular old orange juice or
Oh
apple
my
juice
God.
or
Yeah, it's like the additives. Like if you can make it at home, sweet, but I know nobody's doing that. I'm not making my juice at home. It's not happening. So like if I'm getting it, I'm getting
Mhm.
that. I found out they make fresh squeezed orange juice at Gordon Food Service.
Mhm.
And I went in there and I like asked about it. And they're like, and because they didn't have it there, and
Mhm.
they're like, oh, the guy who like juices our oranges
Mhm.
is not here, so we don't have any today. And I was like, oh, he literally like juices
the oranges.
and they're like, yeah. And I was like, wow, that's some good stuff. So if you
Yeah.
can find something at like a local grocery store
Right.
like that, that's going to be like pretty top
Oh,
tier.
the taste of fresh squeezed orange
Oh my
juice
God.
versus not.
It's
not even the same.
Yeah. So it's like the taste and what's better for you.
But you also have to worry about calories there a little bit. I know it's fresh fruit,
It's fresh fruit. So
but it's concentrated, the calories that you're drinking a little bit.
it is, but I'm not even like, I don't even think it's as bad as something with a sugar.
Oh,
additives.
100% no.
Like if
yeah.
I'm at being a personal trainer, the first 3 things I cut out for my clients and I say, hey, let's try to truly eliminate this.
Mhm.
The first is always sugar, added sugar, not fruit sugar. So if like it's
Mhm.
fruit sugar, fine, cool, go for it. But if it's additive, that's when I'm like, let's see if we can truly cut this out and get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, no one got fat eating watermelon.
No one got fat eating watermelon. I don't know anybody who's gotten fat from eating bananas. So
Right. I know, but that's what people always are worried about. Oh, watermelon bananas, they have high sugar.
if
I hear it
what
all the
about your
time.
cinnamon rolls? Like those have higher sugar. Cut those out. It's freaking crazy. All right. Anyways, great topic today. This is our, what did we call it? Our short summer series.
Yes, our short summer series.
So join us again next
Cheers.
week. And cheers.
With our coffee.
Flat white almond honey. That's what I got. All right, you guys. Great job. And we'll see you next week.
I got this. Hey guys, thanks for listening this week. Please leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. For more I Got This content, please make sure to follow, like, and share on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or you can always go to our website, igotThisPod.com for more info. As always, thanks for listening. See you next Monday.